We gonna see. And you have tuned into another great episode of Generational Empowerment.
Yes.
What's going on, girl?
What's going on, Jay? I've been waiting for this all week.
I know it. You and me both, baby. Chapters 3 and 4.
Chapters 3 and 4.
The S word and intentional dating.
I wish I would have read this book before I got married.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I feel like I kind of got the luck of the draw here because I'm single. Like, this is a great opportunity for me to just kind of like find me, find God, strengthen my relationship with Him, strengthen the foundation that I have, and just, let my name ring. Ain't that what I say?
Yeah, say, let your name ring. Something else. Something like, no,
do your thing.
Let your name ring.
Do your thing. Let your name ring. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so last week I thought the S word meant sex.
Yes, I had to clearly be like, nah, not at all.
Clearly, that's not what it means. The S word in chapter 3 of Relationship Goals by Michael Todd is single. All the single ladies. But yeah, it means single. So we're gonna kick this thing right off. I'm your girl Ashley J. So singleness may be the most important part of the relationship process.
Yes.
It is the most important part simply because it's the space where you can gain a better relationship with God. Mm-hmm. You can gain a better relationship with yourself.
Yep.
Figure out what you like, what you don't like,
yep.
What God is trying to show you, what He doesn't want you to do. I feel like that's a very pivotal time for, just wholeness.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I really took from the whole single thing, or like in the beginning when I was first reading the chapter, is I always had been saying to myself, man, I'm single, I'm wasting time.
Yeah, you always say that.
And I always say that, like, I need to be paid up, I need a boo, I need a whatever. But reading this chapter really made me realize, like, this is prime time for everything.
Yeah.
Like, this is the prime time to focus on my relationship with God. This is the prime time to focus on my relationship with myself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, learning to love myself as a whole and learning to understand who I am, what it is that I bring to the table, flaws and all.
Yeah.
Realizing, like, hey, these are my strong points, these are my weak points. Therefore, when I am looking for a partner, I want somebody that is not necessarily going to take away from what I built up, but more or less add to that.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. I really am, because I remember, baby, somebody, hey, I like Jay, I'm trying to talk to Jay all in. He just like, baby, he got your face on the screensaver, like he all for it. But Jay wears his heart on his sleeve.
I do wear my heart on my sleeve, and that comes like with family, relationships, like everything. All of that. So friendships. So this has really been like, that was a really pivotal chapter for me, or a big chapter for me, because at the end of the day, it was just kind of like, okay, this is time to focus on the relationship with my mom. This is time for me to focus on my friendships that I have, things that have taken place in friendships and this and the third. And also just overall learning to forgive and kind of like move on.
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. So, this was a really, really good chapter. So if you're kind of like going through what I'm going through, or you're going through one of those cycles of life, man, this book is really a big help.
Definitely. So you guys that are watching, if you have read chapter 3, if you just got the book or whatever, I know Octavia, you read the book, so kind of give us your stand on what your take on it from your perspective. Like, I want us to hear and know about other people's perspective, because like I said before, I went down many dark paths because I was trying to find myself, trying to figure out what I liked, what I didn't like, and I was going about it in the wrong way. But as you know, God will use everything for His glory, even if the enemy tries to, sprinkle his little dust on there.
Yeah, like you told me, you have to figure out what God wants you to learn from each situation you're placed in.
But I ain't learned it to after my weirdness. I didn't learn it to like down the road. But so, okay, I'm gonna give you some little information.
Okay.
You should always be working on yourself, whether relationship or not. It does not matter. You should always be working on yourself. Learning, who you are, what you like, what you don't like we spoke on before. But just most importantly, having that relationship with yourself. Knowing that you are worthy, knowing that you are loved. The love that you give yourself is the most important love that you can give, because you can't give it to anybody else if you don't love yourself wholeheartedly, flaws and all, baby. Like, you got a chipped tooth, love that chipped tooth.
Right, absolutely. If you got a chipped tooth, love that chipped tooth. You got to learn to love yourself in the skin that you're in.
True. So in singleness, you get the opportunity to learn the good things about yourself. That's what is stated in the book. Like, most importantly, you want to have the relationship or that time period in your singleness to give to God. For me, that's what I believe. I truly believe that time is simply just to gain a whole relationship where you're able to hear him, because a lot of people wish that they can hear him in a ways that other people hear him. Like the way Donnie hear him, I wish I could hear him like that.
Right. You remember me and you were having that conversation, how me and Donnie had that one thing in common where when God is talking to us or when he's like in our presence, we get them chills.
Yeah, you get chills. I want chills. I don't get chills. But he come to me in other ways. But I have to decipher them, you know. But at the end of the day, it correlates to who you are as a person, what he feels as though was going to hit you the most, So if chills work for y'all, that's what chills work for y'all.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Everybody's different. God touches everybody in different ways. He shows people in different aspects. So at the end of the day, you have to have that discernment to know when it's God and when it's the enemy playing with you.
Very true. We got our hand clap from Mama Pam back there. But you definitely do. So having a relationship with God is essential. Basically, that relationship will show you how to forgive, it shows you how to love, and it shows you how not to judge. Because, first thing that society has taught us is judgment, judging people based on the skin color, based on how they look, how they dress, their economic background. It teaches us so much and firsthand. So I think that God is trying to reveal a lot of things to us in that time period where it's just like, lean on to me and not your own understanding whatsoever. You want to get, like how you said, even though we go to church, we're still supposed to be cracking open our Bible and getting our own perspective, And if you don't do that, then you allow whatever. So we have one of our viewers said, show you how to forgive even when you don't want to forgive.
Amen.
Yes. Because a lot of times I be want to hold on.
As a Taurus, like I'm known for holding a grudge, like and just staying mad to the end of time and this and the third. But like through like reading just the first 4 chapters, it's just kind of like, okay, it's certain things that have taken place in my life that in order for me to move on, in order for me to grow, in order for me to become a better person, I gotta forgive, I gotta move on. And even if that means rehashing a relationship that I don't feel like I need to rehash, rehashing that relationship might be able to bless me in some kind of way.
It will.
It will be able to fix something going on in my world.
Yeah, I definitely believe so.
This for that. It
definitely will, because a lot of times we want to hold on from that selfishness, and it's just like in this realm that God is trying to show us and take us to, because we read in the devotion of the day, we already our devotion, that failure is insanity, right? So failure, basically you're doing the same old thinking that you're going to get different results,
right?
And it's just like you're failing because you're not trying to see things from a different perspective, where it's just like, okay, when it comes to business, when it comes to relationships, hey, maybe I need to be more open. I will never forget, my sister was like, oh, I don't think you should be telling him all, tell him everything, and I'm just like, well, it worked. I feel that that's the most comfortable I am when I'm able to express myself.
Be transparent.
Being transparent. So whatever works, but those that same stinking thinking, T.D. Jakes say, that stinking thinking is the same reason why you keep getting the same results.
Yep.
So definitely. So we're gonna take a quick break, you guys, and we'll be back. I'm your girl Ashley J.
And I'm your boy J Man.
Go.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy J Man, and before we left off, we were of course talking about the S word. And no, we weren't talking about sex. We're talking about being single. And one of the quotes from the book I want to basically lay in front of you guys is, the more comfortable you are with you, the more people will be attracted to your authenticity and confidence.
Yeah.
The more secure you are about your gifts, talents, and calling, the less you'll feel that you'll have to prove.
Yeah.
Agree.
So
100%.
that's really, really big in finding yourself. In order to find yourself, you have to be willing to be humble, open, and transparent.
Hot.
Hot.
Like I am. I'm really hot.
So Ashley, what else you got for us today?
Okay, so I want to kind of give just my standpoint on the church versus reality. And you know how they say, come as you are, right? Clothing or, just as dirty as you need to be, which means not have been washing the Holy Spirit, blah, blah, blah. But I just feel it's such a contradiction to it. Because, like, I was listening to Sarah Jakes, and she had posted, like, when she was 14, she had her first kid, right? And she was saying how she just used to sit in the back because, she was ashamed, but the church didn't back her on it. It wasn't more so of, like, it just made her feel like she was a black sheep. And we're all human beings. We come into a sinful, and this is a fallen world, and it's just like, we all have our trials and tribulations, and I just feel like what the church say they're here for and what's actually going is kind of like a contradiction to me.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week, as far as just kind of like how there's a lot of church leaders that tell you one thing, but they're out here doing another thing.
Yeah.
And so one thing that my grandmother has always taught me as it comes to church is to, just like when eating food, chew the meat and spit out the bones. So take what you're going to take from it. Get your own understanding, but also make sure you have your own relationship with God.
Yeah.
If you're going to church to get a relationship with God, no matter what your pastor does, no matter what he says, God is always going to make sure that he shows you the right way to go.
True.
He guides you in the right direction. But a lot of people, or so many people, go to church to build a relationship with their pastor and not build a relationship with God.
Yeah.
And there's
or
a
they're
difference
trying to have
in
a
the
fashion
two.
show.
Yeah.
They worry about who's there.
Absolutely.
I ain't gonna word of faith, baby. That was a real fashion show. And people will say, even pastors will say, y'all don't care about coming here worried about your Louis Vuittons and this and that. T.D. Jakes will say with your makeup and your hair, and you so worried about the outward appearance, and that's why people don't like going to church. They feel like I can do my online thing because I can feel God in my living room or bedroom, whatever.
Bedroom, right.
Wherever it is, but I just feel like it's such a contradiction when it comes to it. We gotta do better at that. That's not a place. You know how it's a no judgment zone at Planet Fitness. It should be a no judgment zone at church.
Well, that's what people preach all the time. Oh, we're not going to judge you, and we want you to come as you are, and this and the third. And as soon as you show up looking raggedy, or you crying, and this and the third, look at sister so and so, what she done did. Or
I ain't even gonna lie. When I was a kid, I used to be like, those women that caught the Holy Ghost every Sunday, they were fraud. There's no way that you can feel this way every Sunday until I got older. But
and then you learn to understand. Now, you do have your women in the church that be doing a little bit too much. You be like, what, baby? Why is you doing all of that? And you can tell the difference when it's authentic and when it's not. You know what I'm saying? And something you said on our last episode, you cannot be fake with God.
Yeah, you can't be fake with God, and I'm staying true to that.
And it's really, really good because, I challenged you on that. I challenged you on that because I wanted some understanding. I wanted some understanding because I wanted to know what it means to be fake with God and how can you be real with God but also be saved at the same time.
Yeah, I think that was the key because the way the analogies was just so far-fetched.
Yeah, so it was like, okay, it's being authentic with God but also being saved at the same time. Well, what if your being authentic with God ain't saved?
Yeah.
But
you gotta stay true to who you are. One of our viewers said that means that not where you're supposed to be. God will let you know immediately.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And that's what I was trying to convey to Jay. That if you want to go do whatever that you want to go do, but you have an ill will feeling behind it. You got negative. You doing something. You speaking on things.
Something you're not supposed to be doing. you'll know right then and there in that moment, because God's gonna show up in that moment if you connected to Him.
Yeah.
He gonna show up exactly in that moment and be like, look at here, what we got going on here.
Yeah.
You know.
Look at here. Look at here. So we're gonna get right into it. So singleness shows you one particular fruit of the spirit, and that fruit of the spirit is patience.
Yes.
Something marriage has taught me very patience. Because I had to have a lot of patience when it came to understanding Dunny, because we come from the same background, but we don't come from the same background. As coming from my perspective as a married person, I was intentionally dating, but I wasn't intentionally dating. We're gonna get to it. I'm gonna jump right into it.
Okay.
But it gave me a lot of patience, because in the beginning, like how I thought that he was trying to trap me, he thought I was trying to trap him. Because like he came into it and he was speaking on, like, when we have disagreements, he would be trying to pack up and leave. Like, because we have a disagreement. But that was something he was, used to, and like how he spoke about it when he was here. There's a lot of things that was normal to him, and then when he got in a relationship, and then when he was like, hey, I want to be married and I want to be intentional, he was just like, okay, a lot of things that I had to stop doing. And so I think that's where it came from, that patience. And then such as me, because I play entirely too much. I can play entirely too much.
Yes, you can. As your co-host, as well as someone that you work with, absolutely.
and we were speaking on that this morning too, and he was just like, Ashley, where we going to? We can play, but it's just like you take it too far. And that, like I spoke, that was because I didn't have that childhood that I needed, where I could play all the time. I was thinking about, getting my brothers ready for school, cutting their hair, or homework, and this and that, and I just didn't have any space where I could play too much. So when I became an adult, but that's no excuse, but I was able to identify. We had to identify even when we first started reading this book. So it gave me a lot of patience. So now, it just coming into it, and it's just like having a son as well. It's like, okay, I gotta be patient on how I speak, how irritated I could be, because I know I could be irritated like at a drop of a hat. But things are like gradually getting better, and I'm loving the new woman that I'm becoming.
That's good. That's good. I'm loving the new man that I'm becoming, the new understanding and the new relationship, and just being able to. I mean, actually, you've known me for almost over a year now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, I'm sure you can see there's been a transformation.
It has been. That's why I say I congratulate you, because I met you where it was just like erratic emotions, and it was just like, you wanted someone so badly, I feel, that you were willing to settle or you'd be okay with it. It was just like, no, Jay, you deserve better. And that's how I try to get people to see themselves the way I see them, because I always find that one thing that I love that Dunny taught me, that he sees people even through their flaws. Like he has such a kind heart, where it's just like he sees people through that, and then it allowed me, because me, it's like a year for me to like you. Because I gotta figure out, you trying to use me or you gonna hurt me, because I'm trying to, remember what Michael Todd say, we try to secure what we're vulnerable with. And I've been hurt so much that I try to secure my feelings, you know. So
absolutely. Absolutely.
I had to say all that, but but yeah, so it's a season where you can prepare and understand your cycles and patterns, that you are more knowledgeable. That you are more knowledgeable. We have to know our cycles. What has been going on in the past that we see that's currently going on that keeps reoccurring. Our cycles of where the poverty mindset, emotional instability, a lot of those things. So that's what we're going to dive into next.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take a quick break.
We can.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, guys. And when we return, we're going to dive in just a little bit more.
And then, we got intentional dating coming up, and I can't wait to get to that.
Your boy, J Man.
And I'm your girl, Ashley J.
And before we left off, guys, we were talking about the S word. And no, I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about being single. That singleness.
Yes, single.
And so moving it right along, we're going right into
intentional dating.
Intentional dating. So Ashley, what you got for us?
Like I said, I wish I had this book before I got married. But, still, it gives me a lot of great tools and resources that I need to help me push things forward.
Absolutely. You know, he says that in the book. Like, this isn't just for the single people. This is a book for everybody. Whether you've been married 10,
How
15,
to win at dating,
20
marriage,
years.
and sex.
However long it's been you've been in your relationship, this book can really, really help you. Because
and he said no matter what age group, too.
Yeah, no matter what age group. So, great grandma now.
So it said in dating is all about moving towards the covenant of marriage. That is what intentional dating is stating like you're dating with a purpose. I have marriage in mind, or I have whatever, but you're dating with a purpose, or whatever your purpose may be. If your purpose may be sex, you moving in that way. But like we stated in couple of minutes ago, you have to be honest and true about where you at and what stage you in and what you want. So if you're looking for a one night stand, say I'm looking for a one night stand. You're looking for something long term, then say that. But you have to be dating with a purpose, because society norms are what glorified is recreational dating, which is one night stands, impulsive infatuations, short-term relationship, and overlapping love affairs. That's you liking Jim and Tom at the same time, and you're not giving neither one of them the proper time that you need
in order to grow.
For sure.
For sure. For sure.
That's the truth. Like love, threesome, all the type of things that you got going on.
Yeah, that's called recreational dating.
Recreational dating. That is what that means.
I'll date him, then I'll date him, then I'll date him, or her, and her. It's one night stands, impulsive infatuations, short-term relationships, and overlapping love affairs, usually with plenty of drama and complications.
Ooh, say that again. Definitely.
Okay.
I remember I was a player.
Oh, from the Himalayas.
From the Himalayas. But it's true. Like I definitely, I thought, I could juggle them all, and that's what it was, because. And people don't define dating. Everybody has dating so differently. Like I believe I'm not gonna put you in a position where I'm like, oh, we dating. So you'll think I'm thinking we serious. No, I'll be like, oh, we talking. Because to me, dating means that we're in a committed relationship. For me, dating means we're in a committed relationship. Stephanie feels dating is saying, oh, I'm just trying to get to know you, trying to get to know me, but I'm still talking to other people. And I said, no, you just talking. That's not dating. To me, that's not dating. But I feel like it's on the person's preference, because even when Donnie and I was reading this book, he was saying like he thought dating was like we in a relationship, and that's what I thought. Dating is saying we in a committed relationship. I'm not gonna sit here and say we dating. I'm saying we talking, because if Ying came at me respectably and saying, hey, well, let's start a relationship, and you think we just gonna fall into one, then I'm not gonna put a title such as we're dating. I'm gonna say we're talking. But a lot of people feel like dating is you talking to multiple people. That was one girl. She stated that.
I mean, okay, so for me, like if I say we're dating, then we're dating. Like that's just us. Like we're courting, we're getting to know one another, we're going,
But you're not talking to nobody else.
No, not if we're dating.
Okay.
But like, I don't. So there's no gray area with me when it comes to that. Like, okay, so either we're dating, which means we're talking, or we're in a relationship. But like trying to get to know multiple people at once, I'm not that kind of guy. I've never been that kind of guy. Why? Because my attention span ain't that long.
Yes.
I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, and I work too hard. Like at the end of the day, to try and and I'm a courter, I'm a dater, so it's just kind of like, I'm real spontaneous with things, and this
you want to go buy
third.
gifts and stuff like that. But I think a lot of people, like, they know what dating means to them, but like we stated before, society glorifies recreational dating, especially the double standard of men doing one night stands. But if a woman doing one night stand, she a hoe, or she this and that, and it's just like, okay, it's cool, because men. Then we got a little debate when we was reading this book. Because he was saying that exact same thing. And I was like, no, like we are human beings. Now, a woman should carry herself in such a way, but a man should carry himself in a godly or a respectable way as well.
Absolutely.
But society has made it cool that men can sleep around with multiple women and keep them spirits on them as well, and thinking that
they pass some spirits on along to their mate,
yeah,
or
that's
they
not
pass
fair.
other things along to their mate.
They pass other things along. So that's just like I just think that's not cool, and it's lame. And then two, you ain't pushing nothing forward for society. So if you're doing this to one person, this person is gonna be hurt, and they're gonna do it to somebody else. So we're not actually extending that hand to help become or have a better society. We just being, how to say it, we just doing the same thing everybody else is doing. We're not contributing anything positive.
Yeah, we're not contributing anything positive to society. Basically, we're just going along with what society has to offer, which is Netflix and chill, and just hanging out, fire stick and chill, quarantine and chill, all those terms that they're using these days.
Yeah, or like you think because we go on a date, I'm supposed to give you some cookie afterwards, like
I believe it's all in the tone in which you set the standard.
That too, but I think it's just programmed in men's mind. Even if it's a nice guy, right? He could be nice, this and that. But, he's probably been on other dates as well where that was permissible. You get what I'm saying?
But then also it all depends on where I done took you out to eat at.
That's what I'm saying. See, there go that man thinking.
And I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, I take you to Applebee's. No, I ain't getting no cookie. But if I'm taking you to Capitol Grill, Poco de Chao, kombucha, and this, that, and the third. And it ain't necessarily that, but it's more or less on a term of I'm serious about mine. Because if I'm going and dropping $100 to $300, $400 on a bill for dinner, no, I ain't playing with you, shawty. Like it's something here. You know what I'm saying? I'm
just because you take somebody to a nice restaurant, you saying, "No, I'm serious." Now, it's a lot of men that took people to Applebee's or whatever, and they serious. That doesn't mean that just because you take to a fancy restaurant and you drop a $300-$400 bill that you should still get the cookie.
I'm not necessarily saying that I should still get the cookie, but what I'm saying is I think at the end of the day, the effort that is put in is letting you know, like, on the page that person should be on. That's my mindset, because that's just kind of the way that I was raised. Now, if I take you out to just some regular chain restaurant, then no, I'm probably not expecting nothing. But if I'm taking you somewhere, at the end of the day, if I put some thought into it, then yeah, maybe we should be working our way towards something so I can figure out what I'm getting myself into. But that was, once again, my old mindset.
You should be trying to getting to know a person on a deeper level, figuring out how they are, who they are, not just based on like, oh, I'm gonna show you my gratitude. Okay, tell me.
You missed what I said. I said, however, that was my old mindset.
Oh, that was your old.
That was with me dating without.
But still, that was a mindset.
Yeah, that was a mindset. That's the mindset of a lot of men, but that's the mindset of a lot of men without having God involved in them dating and them building relationships.
True.
Here we trying to break them curses. We trying to break them curses. So at the end of the day, we got to keep it raw. We got to keep it real.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's a lot of guys out there and it's a lot of women out there that respond well to, this man spent $300-$400 on dinner, so I got to do something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
No, ma'am, respect yourself, because that man might respect you a lot more to know that, hey, I took her out and spent $300-$400 and she still didn't budge, she didn't move, but yet and still she still entertained me in the sense of our communication is there. You know what I'm saying?
Now, it's been plenty of places I got wine and dined at and gave up no cookie and then like that. It's been one time I done ditched a guy at a nice restaurant and called me on Uber because he was just too lame. So,
wow. Did you take your food to go while he was in the bathroom?
I left everything right then. I was like, I had left something in my car. I didn't call it Uber. I got in my car, but he came there in the Uber, and I was gonna take him back home because he planned on getting drunk. Like he wanted to, like, it was have a good time or whatever. And he was just not my type. So I felt so bad. I was like, did he ever make it home safely or anything?
I'm sure he called an Uber or Lyft the same way he got there.
I blocked him on every social media and his phone.
God.
Ooh, I used to be ruthless back then.
Child.
Yeah. So,
Ashley J.
The new Ashley.
Well, you weren't Ashley J then.
No. Well, I was Ashley J because my middle name is J. But,
okay.
But yeah, so definitely, you want to, without dating with the purpose.
Yo. What's up, guys? It's your boy J Man, and you know I'm coming with that heat and my ear to the streets.
Yes.
So, Ashley, you remember a few weeks ago I was talking about Future and one of his alleged baby mamas.
Yes.
So, you know, word on the street, it has been confirmed. Eliza is no longer an alleged. She is definitely one of Future's baby mamas. So
he is shooting them out left and right.
He's shooting them out left and right. We know his soldiers march at the end of the day. You know, but speaking of soldiers marching, you know, I believe in, you know, correcting myself when I am wrong, or being able to accept that, hey, you know, there are people out there that put stuff out in the atmosphere that are untrue. Pastor Jamal Bryant, I spoke on him last week where basically I was saying there was a young lady, one of his members, that were alleging that she had birthed a baby boy by him.
Yeah.
Well, Pastor Jamal Bryant has spoke, as well as his attorney has spoke, and your boy J Man ain't trying to get no type of lawsuits because, like I say, I keep my ear to the streets and I try and make sure that I'm informing people on the real and the true.
Yeah.
So basically, what he is saying is he ain't had no baby, and whoever put that out there, you played yourself at the end of the day.
Dang.
So
would you say that bad news?
That's bad news.
What?
That's bad news. I gave y'all some bad news. You know, I usually don't give bad news.
You know,
I usually just try and keep it real. I try and keep it real cut. But I'm willing to, you know, accept the fact of making mistakes at the end of the day. If it's not true, then it's not true. So Pastor Jamal Bryant, on behalf of myself, as well as Direct Access Radio, I do apologize for putting that out there. But I will say this, if it does turn around to come back that it is true and this young lady was paid off, then, you know what I'm saying, you got some explaining to do. But moving on to other things, on another note, you know, as I spoke to you guys last week about Ahmaud Arbery.
Oh, yeah.
Text messages have surfaced that police officials had told neighbors to contact Gregory McMichael, which is the father of the father and son duo that actually murdered Ahmaud in cold blood. And they basically, those text messages surfaced where a detective had reached out to Larry English, which is actually, he owns a construction property, a property that's currently under construction in the same neighborhood that they lived in, and he has cameras out there.
Oh, and, wow, on camera.
Yeah, so basically what they have on camera is Ahmaud inside of the property. Like, he's not stealing anything, he's not doing anything wrong, which other than, you know, on property that doesn't belong to him.
Yeah.
But basically, Larry English spoke, as well as his attorneys, not to get him confused with the NFL player Larry English. But Larry English did speak with CNN officials as well as his attorney to basically state that he's the homeowner of a construction site that Arbery was seen walking through the day he was murdered. And basically he also received text messages from police officials letting him know that, hey, Gregory Michael is who you should contact if you have any other concerns. He's a retired police officer. He was a previous detective for the district attorney, yada, yada, yada. Well, basically, you know, they were trying to basically turn things in a negative light as it came to Ahmaud. And, you know, that's just, once again, people abusing their power.
Yeah.
And that's also bad lighting on the police department, because they should have never gave anybody the right to contact a neighbor, a retired police officer, if there's any issues. At the end of the day, that's not his place. You know, a vigilante at the end of the day is what they called him in the so-called article. But yeah, also one thing that I did kind of dig up, in January, the McMichaels found a police report about a vehicle being broken into and several guns had been stolen. But other than that, there hadn't been any other reported robberies that had taken place in that neighborhood. So it's just But that right there, but that incident, and then to come to find out that it was the McMichaels family that had filed that police report. So it's just one of those things to where at the end of the day, people are abusing their power, and at the end of the day, we can continue to say that Mr. Arbery was murdered under false pretenses. He was murdered in cold blood, and his family deserves justice. I was also seeing something else, in the media where they were basically saying that the parents of Trayvon Martin, as well as Ahmaud's parents, they wanted to basically speak because I guess the same situation. It's one of the same situations at the end of the day.
In our society, in our community,
in our society, and in our community, and people want justice. And like I said last week, it's just sad that it takes for situations like this for us to band together as a community. When in a positive light rather than it always being something so rowdy and so rambunctious.
We got to come together when it's a wrongdoing on the police or if it's a racism thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like we never can come together on anything positive. Like, hey, we all feel this way. Like, let's make a change. Versus an action has to happen, and then now we feel as though like let's come together.
Yeah, now that's just kind of how things are going right now. And then, also last week I was talking about the Sean Reed case. Well, basically, Sean Reed was murdered in Indianapolis. It was all caught on live as far as, he was basically shot from the back. And, it was all caught on live, even the detective speaking or whatever. But the detective in this particular case, the one that basically made the statement of him needing a closed casket, he wasn't fired. Instead, he was given a slap on the wrist for cracking jokes about the shooting. He was suspended for a numerous amount of days, and he has been assigned to another unit. And that for me is just kind of like, I understand there's a lot going on with the Ahmaud case, so that's kind of like where the attention is right now. But I think in reference to the case with Sean Reed, we definitely need to know kind of like what's going on with that, because it doesn't seem like there's any justice, taking place at this time. For him to just get a slap on the wrist and just be assigned to another unit, like, no, that's not right. At the end of the day, they shot this man, whether he was speeding and he got on foot and started running, that still doesn't make it fair for him to have lost his life, especially seeing that he was in the military. He hadn't done anything wrong. We all can attest to, doing some things as it might come to speeding or driving crazy or whatever the case may be. Jaywalking or whatever you want to call it. But it should never be a situation where a life has been taken. So that's kind of like where we stand as far as the Sean Reed case. That officer has just received a slap on the wrist. But the video that surfaced, taking it back to the Ahmaud Arbery case, the video that had surfaced from William Bryan, the one where we actually seen everything going down, where basically he was fighting for his life, there's been a lot of controversy over that. It was one African-American young lady that was speaking out, and she was basically saying, oh, he's not being hunted down, and yada, yada, yada. You can clearly see that at the end of the day, this young man was fighting for his life. So it's just kind of like, at the end of the day, facts are facts, and you just have to take things for what they really are. You have to really make sure that as you're making statements, especially a statement as that, as far as, oh, he wasn't being hunted down. He absolutely was hunted down. He was hunted down, and he was hunted down. His life was taken, and it didn't have to be. He hadn't stolen anything. He hadn't done anything wrong. He was running the streets at the end of the day. And he was basically, we're all quarantined, and this quarantine has really just taken things into just this whole a negative situation left and right. Last week I was speaking about Shannon Brown and that whole situation. More facts had surfaced. Come to find out, not only was there a for sale sign in his yard, but his front door was wide open. So with his front door being wide open, he basically was asking for somebody to basically kind of walk in there. When they're doing open houses and this and the third, the front door is always open. So it was just one of those situations. And, even though he was only in there for a couple of days, that couple didn't deserve for him to be shooting at them. They say he shot at them probably about 5 times with a rifle. So at the end of a rifle or a shotgun, one of the two, but he shot at them about 5 times. But yeah, that is absolutely crazy. But other than that, the streets has been pretty quiet lately because, Georgia's been the only state to really just kind of like let the floodgates open and let
us
things
God to go see how everything else goes.
let things run wild. And baby, the streets have been wide open. So the only things that really haven't opened is like nightclubs and strip clubs and this, that, and third. But those are due to like open in like another week or so. So it's no telling what's getting ready to take place.
My birthday in July, and I hope I can get a proper birthday.
For me, I had a proper birthday. I can honestly say, like, Mom did it up.
Yeah, she did.
She did it up. She made it to where at the end of the day, I didn't need no section because I had a section. You know what I'm saying? I didn't need no ball of girls. I still got, top of the line, everything. And it just makes you appreciate things a lot more. It makes you appreciate everything going on in the world. But yeah, guys, stay tuned in as Generational Empowerment as we dive more into this book by Mike Todd.
Yes.
I will be continuing to stay up on the facts as it comes to the Sean Reed case as well as the Ahmaud Arbery case. And as I get more details about this Jamal Bryant situation, because guys, he's got an attorney involved and he's talking about suing and this and a third. So it just it's one of those things where at the end of the day, us in the media, we have to right our wrongs. I'm not one of those people that can say that I'm above any of that. At the end of the day, we all make mistakes. And I like to make sure that I'm reporting the facts at the end of the day. Most of my, pretty much 100%, I can say 99% of everything I report, I pretty much put it out there. It might be that one little percent of where something might be taken.
You'll clean it up.
But I'm going to make sure that I clean it up and I set the record straight. But as promised, I'm your boy, J-Man, and I'm coming with that heat. So I'm going to leave you guys with that one just to think about it, because as I'm trying to figure it out, you guys are probably going to help me in some which way or form to figure it out.
Yeah.
So
we'll get back with you guys next week. We cannot. That is like the most rewarding thing, just to go through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
When I tell you, I'll be looking forward to it. Like, it took everything up out of me to sit at home for as long as I did today before coming up to the radio station, because it was just like, okay, we're gonna be a little bit late today.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me sit at home. I had breakfast with the family and everything, but it was just kind of like, I'm ready to go. Okay, so let me go get dressed. I gotta go.
All right, guys. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you next week.